as you're going to see in a few minutes. And by the way, I mentioned that what you're going to see may shock you, but keep in mind that God is in control.
Dr. Ben Carson announcing this week that he is officially running for president.
I'm Ben Carson, and I'm a candidate for president of the United States.
Dr. Carson, I wonder whether you'd like to come up here for a few moments. Dr. Carson, I have to ask you some questions about that, because we as Seventh-day Adventists understand the role that the United States is to play, not only now but in the future. Because we as Seventh-day Adventists understand the role that the United States is to play, not only now but in the future.
I do know, in looking at prophecy, that the United States will play a big role. More than likely, any persecution, particularly of the Sabbath, will come from the right, not from the left.
Roger. Stand by. We're going to be on break.
I don't know what role the Lord has for me in all this. I do know, in looking at prophecy, that the United States will play a big role, that there has to be a return first to a religious awakening, and more than likely, any persecution, particularly of the Sabbath, will come from the right, not from the left.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church was established off of prophecy. That this lamb, this beast that had two horns like a lamb, is none other than the United States of America. The two great powers that make the United States of America the great country that it is soon not to be, but fortunately at this time we're still there, is republicanism and Protestantism. So we are coming upon a time in which God's people are going to be persecuted.
More than likely, any persecution, particularly of the Sabbath, will come from the right, not from the left. You look at the writings of Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin and Saul Alinsky, and they talk about how important it is to bring the United States into line with everybody else in order to achieve a new world order. But in order to do that, they would have to knock down the strongest pillars, the Judeo-Christian belief system and the strong family values. Those are the things that are under attack.
We're going to be on break.
Let's talk about big government for a second, because you told me once on my show that You believe that President Obama pushed Obamacare because he believes in Vladimir Lenin's principle to rule the people, you must first control them. And you said a couple of things like that, which has some thinking that you sound conspiratorial, and even I've heard the word paranoid. I mean, to that charge, you say what?
To that charge, I say go read it for yourself. Go read the writings of Saul Alinsky and read the writings of Vladimir Lenin yourself. And
At this time, I'd like to turn your attention to the screen. Please pay close attention. Some military technology that they've been developing to seek out enemy combatants or terrorists. This thing can carry a 200-pound payload. It's fully equipped with a fully automatic 45 caliber rifle. That's serious machinery. And it has, as you can see, it can climb up mountains, it can walk on ice. This thing has the balance of a ballerina. Watch this. Now, if I kicked you like that, you'd probably fall over, but I won't kick you like that. But once again, they're using these things, they are developing these things to seek out enemy combatants or terrorists. I want to turn your attention to the above video footage here. This is some more military technology. By the way, these things are developed. I can just imagine what type of applications they're using them for now. But they call them bug bots or animal robots, if you will. As you see, it looks like a pigeon, but it's actually a surveillance robot. Takes pictures, video, will follow you. It's to seek out individuals, enemy combatants, and terrorists. And look of your average housefly. Here you go. These things, once again, equipped with cameras, seek out individuals, and they also have explosives within them so they can connect themselves to their target and then self-destruct, thereby self-destructing you. Once again, these things are used to seek out enemy combatants or terrorists. What type of individuals? Terrorists. You can speak to me. This is the Department of Homeland Security report, and in here they discussed right-wing extremism within the United States of America that could be possible terrorist groups, possible homegrown terrorists. Now, among those that were listed within this report, what type of individuals do you think they listed as possible enemy combatants or homegrown terrorists? White supremacists, somebody said Christians, people that teach end-time prophecies or apocalyptic prophecies. These are individuals that can be looked upon as possible homegrown terrorists. Well, that's real interesting because the Seventh-day Adventist Church was established off of prophecy. So brothers and sisters, we have been given a mission to preach a message which is soon to be looked upon or has already been defined as terrorist agenda. We are coming upon a time in which God's people are going to be persecuted, just as we saw in Revelation chapter 12 and verse 17. That this lamb, this beast that had two horns like a lamb, is none other than the United States of America. The two great powers that make the United States of America the great country that it is soon not to be, but fortunately at this time we're still there, is republicanism and Protestantism.
As you're going to see in a few minutes. The end of the world, as you're going to see in a few minutes. And by the way, I mentioned that what you're going to see may shock you, but keep in mind that God is in control. Also, the information I have is so shocking, I told the pastor and a few others today, and I even told them what I've got. And I said, I've got to cut that out. I cannot show that to everybody. I said, it's too shocking, and he agreed with me that it was. So I cut that out. Don't worry about that. What you won't see won't hurt you with this presentation. In other words, I'm going to show you all that I believe that you can take. Remember what Jesus said? He said, I have many things to tell you, but you cannot what? Bear them now. After you get to heaven, you'll be able to bear this. And some of you could bear it now, but not all of you. Even what I'm going to share with you now will be just about all that some of you can take. You couldn't take any more. So that's why I don't overwhelm you with too much, or two things that are too shocking. So that's why you're going to see what you're going to see. But keep in mind that what you're going to see is just the tip of the iceberg. There's far more that's happening than what I'm going to show you. Time is very short. Someone mentioned so many years until Jesus comes. I don't say years. I say months. And I don't know how many months. I don't know. Only God knows. But if God were to reveal it, a little child would have no problem counting that high. So, if we're ready to begin, you can start those machines. Here's the first one. You see that? Well, of course, over here on the left is the Masonic handshake, which is a certain handshake in a certain way, which they give each other. But that sign there, with the finger like this, you'll see more of that in just a moment in several other pictures, like this one. There's another one giving the same hand signal. You thought he was against Rome, didn't you? Oh no, he and the Pope are right together. But it's secretive. They don't want people to know that he is connected with the Pope, or has been. And not only him, but his leaders that take over from him. Communism is one of the daughters of Rome. Did you know that? Why did Rome set up communism in the first place? The reason Rome set up communism was to destroy Protestants. And that's what they did in Russia and China and other places. A lot of things going on behind the scene. Here is another Masonic signal. It's the triangle, which they give with their hands. That's the Pope, and there's Alan Greenspan. I have another one of him when he's older, giving the same sign. That sign means that this is a Masonic decision. Whatever decision is being made is approved by the leaders of Masonry. And here are a couple other people giving that same sign. Here's the Pope giving it. There's the NATO General Secretary. And you know who that is, the new Chief Justice of our Supreme Court. Do you want me to tell you what this hand sign means? Here it is. It means the vision of Lucifer is being fulfilled. The vision of Lucifer is being fulfilled. That's what it means. These men are worshippers of Lucifer. But most people don't know that. They're not just playing games. These signs mean something in Masonry. It says, these have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
Indeed, on behalf of all the people of our beloved nation, we welcome you back to America.
So the stage was set, and it was time to pay homage to the beast. So the leaders of the Soviet Union came and repented before him, and a new world order was to approach. He had a special cross, the one that he inherited from Paul VI. So here was the climax of history about to be implemented.
New order is run by absolutely ruthless individuals, hell-bent on dehumanizing the entire human community, obsessed with total control. These megalomaniacal Satanists are absolutely sworn to the creation of a worldwide tyranny called the New World Order. This is the evidence, and it is conclusive.
The New World Order, the National Sunday Law.
Never before has faith in the Word of God been so undermined as in recent years. Experiential religion and the rise of numerous new religious ideologies.
People are looking for a new religion. The next war is about religion.
The plain teachings of the Scriptures are eclipsed by many paranormal revelations and teachings of our age. Eastern mysticism and New Age thinking have eroded the ancient pillars of truth and replaced the eternal landmarks. Truth no longer matters. Harmony and cooperation is what counts. The deceptions of our modern day, providing concrete evidence for the validity of the Bible.
We welcome you back to America.
Find out what you're not being told. The media.
If you want to make it in the media world, you better be a Luciferian, or you're not going to get very far.
The music world.
You can be sure that music is going to play the most prominent role in bringing people together in Luciferian worship.
Sports.
The sport world is dedicated to Lucifer. Sport, in general, is dedicated to the sun god.
The business world.
We're going to have mega mergers, mega companies of the earth. Can you see them there? The merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Who controls the merchants of the world according to this text? Wrong. Wrong controls them.
And elements of sun worship in our modern day.
This system is going to control how much of the world? All of it. Does that include the governments of the world? Yes. Does that include the religious systems of the world? Does that include the economy? Yes. But listen to what will happen to all the institutions and kingdoms and kings that will give their power to him. Psalms 110 verse 5 and 6. The Lord is at your right hand. He shall execute kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the nations. He shall fill the places with dead bodies. He shall execute the heads of many countries. Did you know that text?
You suggested most recently that prison may make you gay because you go into prison straight and some come out gay. No excuses, following your mom's principle. How could you have said that?
Well, you know, I really don't know that that is the big issue. We could get into a very long discussion about the causes of homosexuality. It's a much longer discussion than can be had in a soundbite type of interview. But the fact of the matter is that the things that I say that have caused people pain, it's not for the purpose of causing pain, and that's something that I have learned. Very much like Nazi Germany, and I know you're not supposed to say Nazi Germany, but I don't care about political correctness. You know, you had a government using its tools to intimidate the population. We now live in a society where people are afraid to say what they actually believe. And it's because of the PC police, it's because of politicians, it's because of news. It's all of these things are combining to stifle people's conversation.
All right, so you got to explain that, because when I heard the comparison of the United States of America, the greatest country in the world, the greatest country ever, to Nazi Germany, I said, what is he talking about?
Well, see, what you were doing is allowing words to affect you more than listening to what was actually being said.
All right, so please explain
and that's
that.
part of the problem.
I greatly admire you and what you've done over the years, but to make the comparison of the United States and Nazi Germany, that just struck...
Let me just clarify. Are you saying that America is like Nazi Germany?
I'm making a point to the American people that if, in fact, you feel differently about what's going on, you should not be shut up.
Doctor,
you need to talk
no
about
one is being shut up in America. You're on Fox News, you write books, Newt talks, Stephanie talks, I talk.
What is that?
I don't engage in political correctness. Maybe you do. But, Doctor, these are your quotes. You said we live in a Gestapo age, and this is a quote, we're very much like Nazi Germany, and then you write a book about America the Beautiful.
He's coming under fire for comments that he made last week about gay marriage when he was a guest right here on this program. This is what he had to say.
And no group, be they gays, be they NAMBLA, be they people who believe in bestiality, it doesn't matter.
I made last week on this program, and I'm truly sorry if I offended some. It was certainly not my...
Hannity, you created a monster. Ben Carson, you're a doctor. You're not a politician. You created him.
What do you mean I created him? God created him.
I'll tell you why.
I'm not the creator. I don't breathe life into people.
Dr. Ben Carson put his size 12 foot in his mouth because ever since
Leo,
that prayer breakfast, you have had him on.
I've known you for life.
This guy has equated homosexuality to be talking about
you should
taxes.
be ashamed.
He's talking about
you should be
gays being
promoting
bestiality.
censorship.
He put his
you are talking about
mouth.
censorship
and that's
at
what
an academic institution.
Have you said things you regret?
He put his foot in his mouth.
Have
he
you
put
said,
his foot in his mouth.
Here's my question. For those things? That's a question.
Oh, okay.
Leo, can you name one person?
I want to talk about Ben Carson.
Can you?
I want to talk about. I was asking you about Ben Carson.
But I'm talking about the double standard. Can you name one person that supports the views of Obama's new pastor? Da, 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 da. Well, Leo Terrell, those things outrage you as much as Dr. Carson, who spent most of his life helping children and saving people's lives.
Let me think about that. No, Ben Carson is a doctor. Stay in the hospital. Dr. Carson, you created Dr. Carson ever since February 15th. All of a sudden, he knows everything about politics. You created a monster. You created a guy who had 15 minutes.
Leo is a little bit of an intellectual tyrant. And
I would want to discuss with Congress having real military authority to secure our borders and to do what is necessary in order to do that. You look at some of these caves and things that are out there, one drone strike, they're gone. And they're easy to find. So
you would order a drone strike on it?
I'm not saying that I would. I'm saying I would use all the possibilities that we have and let this become a military issue. Therefore, race wars, income wars, age wars, gender wars, religious wars,
how damaging
anything
is that
you can possibly make. It's extremely damaging. A house divided against itself cannot stand. And the purpose of it, of course, is to make people throw their hands up in disgust, say, this isn't working, we need to move to another system. Go back and read the neo-Marxist literature. It's all right there. All of this stuff is not secret. That's why I encourage people all the time, go and read this stuff. You don't have to take my word for it.
You know, when you use terms like that, neo-Marxist and so on, that is what makes some people say, I like how this guy sounds, but he can never be the president because he will be described and painted and labeled as too extreme.
That's why I tell them to go read it for themselves. Vladimir Lenin, Saul Alinsky, Karl Marx, you know, I mean, these people just laid all of this stuff out. And there was a guy who was a former CIA agent by the name of Cleon Skousen, who wrote a book in 1958 called The Naked Communist. And it laid out the whole agenda. You would think by reading it that it was written last year, showing what they're trying to do to American families, what they're trying to do to our Judeo-Christian faith.
Do you think, let me ask you this, Dr. Carson, do you think that we are at